Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic episode of the Ember podcast. We are mixing it up this week and it's going to be much chiller and slightly less focused than it usually is, if that's even possible. We have a fantastic community over in our Discord, which I've, stressed at the end of every podcast at the chagrin of, I assume, everybody. So we figured if we are going to be making a game for the community, we might as well start having the most active members of our community on the podcast. Bit of synergy for you. So today we're going to do just that. I have Vale here with me from the dev team. Say hi, dude.
Hello.
And as for the community members, introduce yourselves, guys.
Oh, I'm Vibson, and the other guys, felt.
Oh wow! What a great intro.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people know you as Duck, don't they?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Most of the OGs know him as Vibson, but he's been named Duck for a while.
Yeah.
I just had to accept it.
Yeah.
Brain fart. And yeah, I'm hi. I'm Felp. Yeah.
Fantastic. 10 out of 10 stuff, guys.
Great.
I'm just letting you rest to see how long it'll take. Sorry. So, Vala came up with the basic structure of this podcast, so we can follow that loosely. We had this idea of featuring the players, what your gaming backstory is, how you got introduced to MMOs, and so on and so forth. So I guess rock, paper, scissors. Who wants to start with just sharing a bit about themselves?
I picked paper. Doc, how about you?
Wow, okay. I pick rock. Go first.
Oh, hell yeah!
I did not expect that.
Alright, I mean, the backstory in gaming, you said?
Yeah. Or anything
well,
that comes natural. You started off mic talking about your fantastic upbringing in the cold lands of Sweden.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean it's since my as I mentioned before, my dad's been big into just computers, and he likes to fiddle around with technology a lot, and that's kind of spread to both me and my big brother. My brother's like 6 years older than me, so I've always been kind of hanging over his, looking over his shoulder, seeing what he's playing. And from there on, I've kind of been like, oh, what's that? That's a cool game. Can I play that? And I'm like, oh, you don't have a computer to play that. And I'm like, how do we fix that? And I go and ask my dad, and I was like, I want a computer. And it's like, well, go make your own. And that kind of put me in quite the predicament to begin with.
How old were you?
7.
7. The computer at 7. Excellent.
So, luckily, I've always been a big fan of Lego. And building a computer is kind of like building Lego for just...
like slightly more nerdy people.
Yeah, slightly more nerdy, and the price tag is a lot higher.
I don't know, not anymore. I feel like that is super expensive now.
Have you seen that Millennium Falcon? Jesus Christ.
Like, I'd rather just have a computer for that price.
Yeah. No, so I'm with some help, of course. I mean, you don't leave a 7-year-old to just build a computer on his own. That's not gonna. That's a no bueno.
Why is there chocolate in the CPU?
Yeah. But with some help, I got it working, and I started playing my first ever proper game, and that was actually an MMO.
What was it?
It was an old MMO from back 2005, I think it launched. It's called Rose Online. I have no idea what it stands for, but some Korean chibi-looking MMO where it's pretty theme park. You run around, you have a set amount of classes and a bunch of subclasses, and you just kill stuff. Pretty much purely PvE, some arena, PvP and all that, but nothing I was too interested in. I was mostly just hanging around with my brother and his friends, playing that game with them. And then from then on, it kind of spiraled.
Into what?
Into RuneScape, League of Legends, Dark Souls.
Hell yes.
What else do we got? We got.
What's the best Dark Souls, and why is it Dark Souls 2?
The best Dark Souls is Dark Souls 3, and that's because you can be a mage without investing in focus. No, weapon arts in Dark Souls 3 is amazing.
Yes.
Best edition ever.
But stance though, Dark Souls 2 had gold triangle for stance.
Dude, just go play Neo.
I'm so scared. I have it. I got to a dead geisha and I got too scared and I quit.
Ah, shit, dude. Oh man, yeah. Nah, I've been around and played a lot of games, all different kinds, like shooters, like CS:GO, Killing Floor, Quake. Not RTS games, like strategy games, like what do you call it? Something. The Activision, the Blizzard one. StarCraft. Yeah, I didn't play that, or these other Red Alert or whatever. I know of them, just haven't played them. It's not really my thing.
Okay,
and
so
I know
you're
some
like
people hate
really
me for it.
You're really big into action, basically.
I am very big into just action, like thinking on my feet and strategizing that way.
Okay, so that sort of leads into your enjoyment of PvP.
Yup, that's a big one. I love me some PvP, especially team-based, because it's just a lot more fun working with people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you can sit and have some banter with them every once in a while.
Definitely. And so, like, how do you get introduced to Ember Sword?
Well, considering I liked RuneScape a lot, I had some friends that mentioned a game called Albion Online, and oh man, that's an interesting one. I lost 4 years of my life to that game.
Wow, that's a deep hole.
Yeah, that's a deep hole. We don't need to get into that unless you really want to. But yeah, no, it was full loot PvP. It was amazing. It had some of the, I'm using the word MOBA loosely here, aka League of Legends-esque. It had that kind of combat top-down style, and I really enjoyed that because I'd played League of Legends a lot leading up to that. And that's, playing that game for a whole bunch of time. Start making some contacts here and there, and people are looking for other games because Albion Online kind of started going downhill after about 2 years. I don't know, something happened with their with their direction of the game where they didn't want to focus on the team-based PvP anymore. And so I had a bunch of people just looking around for other promising projects, and I'm pretty sure in one of the dozens of servers that are Albion related that I'm in Discord, some of them mentioned Ember Sword at some point, like 2 years ago. And I guess that's how I just found Ember Sword. Had all the stuff that I wanted with Albion, and it's like, all right, this looks promising. Let's see what it is.
Thank God for good marketing.
You mean non-existent word to mouth? What?
We're getting there. And Vib, how about you? How did you come to our pastures, or where did your journey start to lead you to our pastures, I guess?
Well, game-wise, I've just been playing games since I was little, so I guess I started out when it came to Game Boys, because my cousins, and they would just show me a bunch of random games. It originally started out with an obsession with Pokemon, and from there, I just went to different things, be it usually handheld consoles.
That's really relatable.
Yeah, but still, the main consoles I usually would play on would be Wii and all that, but because I never had a PlayStation. My mom honestly thought that the main games that were on there were Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto, so she didn't want me to play that.
That's hilarious.
Did she ever get you like the most wrong game of like ever? Because my mom once bought me a Wii game. It was like a brain teaser type of thing. And when I asked her what I'm supposed to do with this, she just pointed to the ESRB rating that said 3+ and said, "Look, it's for PlayStation 3."
Oh my god.
Oh no, I feel so bad for you.
No, I've gotten some really bad games, but I haven't gotten the actual wrong system game. No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. What bad games did you get?
For Wii, the one that's most memorable is I got a Wreck-It Ralph game.
Oh boy,
The
no.
most memorable one I have that's bad.
I've seen the movie.
I can't imagine the game would be very
The
good.
game on Wii was really bad. That's all I can tell you.
I imagine the box quote was just, "I saw the movie." IGN.
Oh yes.
But yeah, from that I just went to when I finally got my computer. I believe I was maybe 11, and I got a computer, and I just started playing any game that I could find on. I think it was Area Games. That was the site. I just started playing it. It
Oh,
was a bunch of anime games, so I started
yeah.
downloading all of them.
Did you play the tennis game? I don't remember what it's called.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. Or like S4 League.
I remember playing Elsword almost religiously because my friend
Okay,
got me
yeah.
into it, and I was stuck on that so long. But then I realized I was terrible at the game, so I just got bored of it.
Yeah. It was pretty fun to begin with, though.
Yeah, but from there I just started playing different games and enjoying it. I think I got stuck on a Roblox for the longest because I had a bunch of friends on there.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's actually the sound they make, though.
I started going on. I think recent. No, it was a year ago, year and a half. I started looking online trying to find an MMO to play, and your game was on the list, and I just clicked on it, came to the Discord, and been here since.
Hell yeah. Not all heroes wear capes. So
No.
it's a weird thing to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Segue quick. So what do you guys hope for Ember Sword to become? What do you envision liking about Ember Sword once it actually comes out?
Let's start out with Whipson this time.
Well, when it comes to the game, I particularly want to be able to. Mind you, already know, but I want to be able to get into the trading aspect where I just want to enjoy the caravanning part, pretty much. That's really it. I don't particularly care. I mean, I do want to do PvP specifically because I just want to annoy Felt. That's about it. But yeah, other than that, I do want to go into trading because it's something that I can actually take time to think about and sit down and do writing and just it's a lot that I can do.
Okay,
I can write up items that I can find and set up different shops in different areas. It's just something that seems fun to organize.
Yeah, definitely. And like, how's your like what do you think about being like the option to be ganked throughout your journey as a trader? Like, does that
specifically is kind of
you?
the fun part.
Okay.
No, it doesn't at all. That makes it the difficulty makes it more fun to me. That's why I want to do it.
Okay, cool. Well, I hope we can satisfy your hopes and dreams for trading. I myself am like big professions guy in other MMOs. I really like when MMOs take them super seriously, and make sure that they're not just throwaway, which was my experience in World of Warcraft. So I'm really harping on the team to make sure that we take this aspect of the game super seriously.
We're essentially making Oregon Trail.
Pretty much.
You will catch untold diseases trying to go through from one region to the other, and you will lose your life for wood.
I mean, especially for one of the regions, Severin, the toxic jungle.
It's a toxic jungle? I should really read the design document.
You really should.
I honestly thought it was just a jungle. I didn't think it was a toxic jungle.
You know what to avoid.
Yo.
Oh, yeah,
with a bunch of criminals.
Vale, how exactly did World of Warcraft not take profession seriously?
It's just that, for example, with like a lot of crafting professions where with like armor and weapon crafting, that sort of stuff. Like once you get to late game, those items are completely pointless. I mean, sure, in the beginning of the expansion or of any given expansion, like they're sort of useful to get you started on like in-game PvE, in-game PvP, that sort of stuff. But like after like a couple raids or like a couple like high-end dungeons or whatever, you can drop most of the professions anyway. Like they get pretty useless pretty quickly, which I think is really too bad. I think the importance of like cooking and alchemy are like that's pretty fine, but for a crafty profession, I think it's really too bad.
I'm learning a lot. I have ironically almost zero MMO experience. So all of this is just so fascinating to me. I know. Hey, I've played Lineage too, And for the longest, okay, look,
Okay, that's pretty good though.
I called it Lineage.
Oh no.
To be fair, I did that too.
We couldn't pronounce the word lineage. It was 2006 and I live in Bulgaria, for Christ's sake. Like,
Alright, that's fair.
we played it on and off in, what was it, like PC cafes? That,
Oh yeah.
man, that was a time and a half.
Remember when that was a thing?
PC cafes.
Back before we could just earn our own money and build our own shit boxes, yes. Ironically, I must have spent more than I spent on my actual computer going to those over the course of 2 years. And all we did was just either play Lineage from like new accounts, because we had no idea, there was no saving, and we couldn't comprehend that we could just log into our account again. So we just had like 10 million email accounts.
Oh
Again,
boy.
really stupid children learning English through video games, right?
Oh, that hurts me.
Yep, so we just remade them and we went on pirate servers where you could level to max level in like 3 hits of the first basic mob. And then we just spend hours staring at the level up screen, going to a tower and getting hit by like huge bull dudes who weren't torrent for legal reasons.
Oh boy. But I mean, it was a cool social experience, I'm guessing.
Oh, it was fantastic. We would just sit next to each other, do this. The repetition actually really, really helped us. Like, just either foster relationships or just enjoy ourselves. I remember the dumbest thing we did was for 7 months straight, I shit you not, you would go to the PC cafe, sit down and play the exact same game of Command & Conquer General 0 Hour, where me and a friend, there was this super like long map, and me and a friend would go on one team, we would we would sit at the top end of the map, and we would just fortify the crap out of our bases with like laser turrets and shit. And then we would just spend the whole game accumulating money while the third person who we were playing against played as the very not politically correct terrorist faction. 2003 was a wild year. And he would just send... This just keeps getting worse and worse as they talk about it. I can't believe this was a game made in the 21st century. He would send suicide bombers over to our defenses.
What?
So we would, over the course of an hour and a half, recreate the Cold War, where none of us could go through our own defenses, and we would just build super weapons for mutually assured destruction.
Nice.
We had no concept of war games, by the way, so we just did this organically. I think we're low-key sociopaths.
Wow.
Anyway,
I mean,
Falk, what are your dreams for Ember Sword?
Wow. That's a very interesting gaming habit as a kid.
Yeah.
We had nothing to do. We had Fox Kids in Russian, and this, like, nothing else.
Sure, why not? Okay, Phelps, your turn.
Oh shit, what were we talking about?
Your hopes for Ember Sword.
I'm sorry, I got too engrossed in this.
Yeah.
I could probably
Mad
fill a whole episode with
backstory.
my insane childhood. You know? Do you want to know how I sewer dived for Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I got you.
Oh no, don't even start.
We can do that next time.
Alright.
yeah, you
But
get
okay,
it.
Ember Sword. Well shit, I mean as I mentioned, or as Valley said before, I mean I like my PvP. That's pretty much what I did in Albion Online as well. Like getting full loot PvP means there's some actual meaning to killing another player in the game. You actually get something from it other than just, oh, you ranked up in whatever infamy or rank system they had for PvP leaderboards. You know, you'd actually get something tangible from it. So that's a really big drive for me personally, having some actually impactful PvP. And another thing I'm hoping for is that you guys make some kind of team-based stuff. Maybe not instance, maybe instance. It depends on how you want to do it. But it's just I want to be able to get a couple of guys together and have just square off in a fight versus another similarly sized team, and just see who's better at teamwork, who's better at doing their own class or their own playstyle or whatever. That's something I like. Like I've mentioned, and I've mentioned to, might have mentioned to Svetlin before, but Battle Right is a nice game. It's basically a very tight action-packed arena where
Yeah,
you
it's
just
pretty fun.
go in and you just immediately get into the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just everyone's on a level playing field kind of, because you have all these options. You get to pick what you bring in with you, but you can't really switch it out afterwards. An Ember sword, that's you can, that translates to you kind of bring your you choose your gear for the match, and maybe you bring with you alternative sets for after you die, and okay, I can bring this with me and I can compensate for whatever we lost, etc. But just having somewhat fair fights, like just having some risk to it all, is kind of what I'm looking for here.
That sounds very samurai-esque on your part. Just, face off against other honorable opponents and beat them down using teamwork.
I mean, that's not to say I appreciate just difficult PvE content. I mean, I have played Destiny, I have played Killing Floor. Like, I like difficulty, as long as it's not just bullet sponges that are just annoying. Like, I know you guys mentioned this in an earlier podcast as well. It's just like something's hard or something's difficult.
Yeah.
Like you wanna have interaction to be the difficult part, like playing Sekiro or playing Dark Souls.
Yeah, definitely.
You wanna be able to just quickly decide and dodge and react and all that stuff.
Yeah, most of the
Rather
team
than
is a big proponent of challenge as a leading philosophy, driving difficulty, and not just stat sticks smashing other stat sticks over the head.
Yeah,
because that stuff just isn't interesting in the long run.
Mhm.
Like, you want an encounter to be super memorable. You want to be able to tell people why a certain boss is fun, or why a certain dungeon is fun, and not have to just rely on health being buffed once you ramp difficulty or so on.
Yeah, hell yeah.
In essence, it doesn't make for good longevity to have a game that's just, increasing numbers of health being thrown around.
Genshin Impact.
Now what you make me think about is that freaking Circle Tunes video where he's going to fight the boss, and every time he kills it, it just pulls up another.
Oh no!
That's all I'm thinking of now.
Great video.
Don't remind me.
Yeah,
I'm in heavy PTSD mode now because Destiny 2 is essentially going that route.
Oh no!
And your boy have been having an existential crisis for the past week and a half.
Yeah, I mean, I like in the initial run, in the beginning of Destiny 2, I really started missing the encounters of late Destiny 1. Like, I was huge into raiding in Destiny 1, and those encounters were super fun, and I've been really inspired by them. And I feel like they just sort of lost that magic.
It's a completely separate topic, and if I do get into it, I swear to God, it's gonna be 2 hours.
Yeah.
So just to keep it succinct, it's a strange design philosophy they're employing right now. It's almost the antithesis of what we're trying to do, where we're trying to make a decent game that people are drawn to for its variety of things you can do, and you get to keep your stuff. Destiny 2 is built on taking your stuff right now. And that's just that boggles the mind who that's for. But anyway, that's an entirely different topic.
Yeah.
You guys, for generously participating, you had some questions that you wanted to have answered by people in the know and on the inside. And since you've been such good sports about coming on and talking a bit about yourselves, you have free reign to ask those questions now. Vib, let's start with you. Because you have had one burning question in the chamber for a month.
Oh man, here we go.
I just want to know, is there going to be duck-related stuff? That's it.
Okay, so let me get onto this one. So, actually, I've been talking to Joris, and I've been on armor and set design for a while now, and I'm slowly coming up with an idea about a duck set, which will be super, like, at least legendary, and it's gonna be super fun. I really wanted to really feel special and feel very quirky and fun So yeah. I think we might expect some Jux stuff in the future.
I think I just felt the atmospheric shift from Viv's spike in heart rate.
Like we were talking about, like having an option in graphics where you can just click it, and then all the heads of all players you're gonna see are gonna turn into ducks.
The cow level does not exist.
No, exactly. Now it's the duck level.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
This campaign's super hard, and
Yeah.
it'll work.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I was honestly just expecting a simple, oh yeah, artist workshop, go do it.
No, man, I'm definitely concepting this.
Oh man.
Like I've concepted dumb shit before. Mark once told me to concept a space captain, and I did. And then I was told it looked like a gay stripper.
Hell yeah. That sounds like some weird mod for like Risk of Rain. They already have a captain.
Yeah, man. I mean,
remove his coat. I want to know what's under coat.
So yeah, I already talked to Stu about the pets, and he didn't explain. He didn't go into much detail, so I was wondering how they're gonna function.
okay. So, for starters, pets are initially going to be primarily cosmetic. They might not be present at launch. So we're trying our best to like making sure that for the initial launch we're gonna have something it's just super fun and playable, and then some of the additional fireworks like pets and some other things that we've discussed, mounts, for example, from last episode. They are something that we really want to do, and we have some ideas, but for now they just aren't like a priority like some of the other things are. And so we and plus we also want to figure out whether or not pets could work as a functional thing, as having a purpose. Wow, and this is super hard. But like for now, they are looking to be primarily cosmetic, cute little things to follow you around to sort of show off.
All right, that's fine. That's actually how I wanted them to work in the first place, so I'm all good with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to regions, you guys brought up about, well, not regions, but land specifically. But you guys brought up how you were gonna expand the amount of land you were gonna have in the game, and someone else brought up how that might make each region somewhat bigger, considering the larger kingship sector.
Mhm.
Now, with that, is there going to be any way to switch regions between the Oh wait, that actually the
So like Solarwood switching to Ediso or Duskwood,
Yeah.
that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're definitely gonna, since you only have one character slot on your account, of course we want to make sure that people can actually, if they really want to change what their home region is, we want to allow them to do that. And that is most likely gonna cost you some in-game currency to some extent. And then we might introduce a quest, so you story-wise get introduced to a region, so you have like an idea of what the region is about and what they stand for, but as well as having like a sort of cooldown, so you don't like end up switching like 5 times within a day. Because of course you are like, if you start a region and you figure out, okay, it's not really for me. Like, I don't really vibe with the story or the style or the environment. It's sort of not the stuff I'm super into, but they look cool on the outside. You might want to switch to a different region, or also just to try out some different quests or get another view on the main story.
Okay, so I accidentally melded 2 questions when I was talking about this one before. So when it comes to actually when it comes to the land, is it gonna since the amount of land increased, is that gonna just increase the actual region size you guys were planning on making, or no?
It probably will. The thing is that for now we have a like we sort of have a map of the world, but the thing is that right now it's super like a functionally designed map versus an interestingly designed map. So right now it's just like squares. We have like a capital in the middle and a kingship, which is a square, like a square zone, and then the PvE zone and the PvP zone, which is sort of like a cross between the regions. And we're probably gonna make this like a lot more interesting, not have them like uniform in size, and so sizes are definitely gonna differ. They're definitely gonna look and feel different, and thus the kingships will also be also probably maybe expand depending on how much space we need, especially depending on how large the capital is. And some regions might also just have a little bit more kingship space than other regions. So it depends on how we decide the map is going to look in the end. We, like me and Sam and Victor and Torres, are like still need to be super sure about what we're gonna do about that, but we're working on it. That's probably the best I can say.
All right. And my last question is basically: was there anything you guys had originally thought of before that you scrapped, but you might add later?
So I wouldn't say there's so much ideas that we scrapped. I mean, most of the ideas that we've had have been sort of compliant with the feel of the game and the direction of the game. But there are definitely ideas that wouldn't have worked, but we ended up redesigning them to a point where they made sense. Like boss ideas where we're like, okay, this probably isn't gonna work. The server-wise is gonna be super weird, or like game feel-wise, it doesn't feel super Ember Sword. And then we decided to like rethink the idea and come up with concept that made more sense. So yeah. We didn't really scrap so many ideas, more than retool ideas to have them be Ember Sword.
All right.
Which nicely leads into Phelps' question, which is more, I assume, going to take the form of a discussion. So shoot.
Oh man, well, it's a rather loaded one. I tried to boil it down, so it required very little context. But let's see here. It's just when it comes to PvP, you can do this open world PvP in many different ways. You mentioned ganking before, and I mentioned having a somewhat fair fight of somewhat equal numbers. And I'm interested to see if you guys have thought about or are going to make or encourage consensual PvP between people looking for a fight rather than people looking for a target, in this case, ganking. That's simply, this target being on the PvP zone, simply accepting the risk of being killed. But they went out there with the intention of, gathering the higher tier materials or killing the higher tier world bosses, etc. And you have predators hunting them with specific setups, with hard counter in terms of gear to whatever they might be running, rather than people looking for other people to fight. Because that's a big concern I had with Albion. It was a lot of people didn't want to fight; they just wanted to kill.
Yeah. So let me start out by saying that the arena we're working on right now, we have discussed a couple times how this could and probably should be used for organized PvP in some way. And again, like I mentioned with the pets and the mounts, it might not be present at launch, but it's definitely something that we really want to get out as fast as possible. Just because it means a lot to a lot of people to be able to have consensual PvP as you talk about, and know that the opposing team is ready for a fight, and you can really do some really high skill level stuff, some really intense fights, and we really want to award people who are into that sort of stuff and not have them have to deal with organizing it themselves in the PvP zone, right? Because that would just be too much work for the player. And while it might be more organic, and it's most definitely going to happen for like larger fights, but I think it's important that that we also take note of the PvP centered camps, the campsites that you're going to find in the different PvP zones, which will be owned by a particular guild or a region, depending on the camp, and thus people who come there to defend that are looking for a fight and they're ready for a fight, and the people who attack them are of course also ready and looking for a fight, right? So you're gonna have fights that are definitely consensual in the world, but we also really want to do arena style fighting, which would be centered around basically giving a purpose to the arena or for organized PvP other than just looking cool on the leaderboard, right?
Either way, it sounds like we're leaning more towards making PvP an activity that both parties want to engage in, instead of poor Vib going on the Oregon Trail, just dying of all sorts of diseases, and then Phelps Assassin's Creed's him from the woods.
Yeah. Another concern then with the arena that you mentioned is, will it be full loot?
So I mean, since we haven't completely decided on what we're gonna do with the arena, I can't say for sure that it's gonna be that you're gonna drop loot at all. But there's definitely gonna be a reason to go in there other than just PvPing. Of course, PvPing is for fun, and some people just want to do that. But as you mentioned in your backstory and your hopes for the game, is that it's more satisfying if you get some souvenirs afterwards, if that is experience for leveling up. So there's a purpose in PvPing when you're progressing the game, or if that is special item drops that you can only get there, or that sort of stuff. We're still gonna have to figure that out. But you really want to make sure that the people who go in there feel like they got rewarded for their hard work and for winning.
We did mention this in a previous podcast in terms of PvP, where we're thinking of sort of a tiered structure. In my experience, sort of akin to Destiny's, where you can choose what difficulty dynamically you want a certain encounter to be at, and then with the higher risk comes a higher reward. So it's feasible. I'm not saying that this is going to be the case. Again, everything you said here is subject to change, but we could implement a system where when you sign up for a PvP match, you can choose the degree of consequence you want to face. Right?
Hell yeah.
Which to me sounds like a fantastic middle ground for everybody. You can choose what level of PvP you want to engage in and get the appropriate reward for it.
That's awesome, because I wanna. Well, the way I've done it before in Albion Online is I PvP in order to get more resources to continue PvPing.
Yeah, and that's similar to other games, right? But of course, if there's some stuff that you can only get through PvP, or there's a way to sort of wager items, cosmetics, that sort of stuff, it suddenly gets a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, it really does.
Especially considering the value attached to those cosmetics. That is actual real stakes. Yeah. It's gladiatorial almost.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
But it adds to the arena experience, really. If anybody, and I mean anybody, says, "Are you not entertained?" in chat,
Oh man.
Insta-ban.
Yeah,
Insta-ban.
I mean, we like I was talking to Joris about like it could be super fun to have the arena allow spectators, and if the fight isn't super exciting, they have the option to throw vegetables like tomatoes and that sort of stuff at the players.
Purely cosmetic, right? Please.
Let's hope so.
Please don't cover my screen with tomatoes.
Depends on your aim. Now we're covering the screen. You gotta pay 35 cents to remove the tomato gunk.
Oh no.
Surprise, it's been a mobile game this whole time.
You've been bamboozled.
I mean, technically it is going to be mobile anyway, so.
The longest
Aha!
con. Way to bring it back to cross promotion.
Cross promotion, hell yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that sounds. It sounds like you've got some ideas of where you want to take this, and they seem to be mostly aligning with what I'm after. So that's great.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of people on the team who are like big into PvP as well. So we're definitely not gonna skimp on making PvP fun.
Yup.
Then, of course, we are constantly monitoring the Discord. We're constantly trying to engage in conversations, see what you guys want, and implement it as best as we can. And
Yeah.
it definitely helps that you guys are so, active and passionate about this. So
I'm
this-
terribly sorry.
this is kind of sappy. Like, seriously, thanks for being so active.
Yeah, it means a whole lot to us, and that's also why I felt it was so important that we do this podcast, because first off, it shows respect to the players, because we are super fortunate to have such engaged and such active players, but also just because it gets us a better feel as to what kind of people want to play this game and what their passions are, and that's gonna have a huge impact on where we take this game.
I think we're gonna start crying. Okay, this feels like a fantastic note to end on. Before I actually start bawling, I'm going to need my eyes dry to lift all that wood. So
Hell yeah.
thank you guys for taking the time to participate in the podcast. This was legit fun. And
Yeah, it really was.
This is definitely not the last one of these. Like, I envision us doing this in the future again. If we
That's
can
gonna be
concept
great.
something fun to do. Hell, even a hangout might be an interesting accord, considering we've at least a couple of us are European, and I've
Oh,
sorry,
do I?
we tend to just Europeans tend to have weird stories about growing up in Europe, and the further east you go, the weirder it gets. And again, this is weirdly racist, but I'm not. It just happens. Anyway, thank you for participating. Thank you guys for listening, and we will catch you next time. Hey, you made it to the end. Congratulations. That must mean you like us enough to want more, right? Well, good news. We're all over the internet. Go to embersword.com and subscribe to our newsletter for a chance to play the game early, as well as the latest interesting tidbits on the game and the team. Join our lovely Discord community over at discord.gg/embersword. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayEmbersword for regular updates on what we're up to. And remember the basics. Drink water, be kind to each other, and spread the word about Ember Sword.